as it really does go around players fairly often. But anyway, there we go. We're gonna be starting with the second game for the second time. Double Oranos and Zeus, double Loki Oranos for the players. So let's see and hope this time around you're gonna be able to finish no problem with the game, and there are not gonna be any kind of drops. So he's gonna be more style on the left side. He's gonna be fighting so far against Seiya. It actually does the same matchup, isn't it? I think it is, but it's just gonna be slightly turned around. I think that actually Seiya was also the player who was pitched against more. It's gonna be yet again Oranos battle for them. Gold line yet again in the pocket with Loki. Against him it's going to be Marcos on the other side of the map, as Gabo is gonna be playing the flank together with Pennywise, aka Thomas Shelby, across the water and across the base. Okay, so there's gonna be quite an interesting gold, a bit worse right about now for Gabo, as opposed to what we have seen in the previous iteration of Marsh. So it might be slightly challenging, and he will have to probably protect it a bit by some temple, a few houses, maybe a few things like that. On top of everything, as Pennywise is going to be already discovering his opponent, maybe even getting a few arrows into the back. Exactly, 11 damage dealt right there from the shooting from the TC. Now, so all the way inside his base, he's going to be having the gold in fairly, no, it's not really that similar position. That is going to be really important how this wood line is going to be made and how it's going to be looking. I'm gonna be really curious about that one, as it's gonna be also or rather defining how safe this gold mine is going to be, and if it's going to be safe altogether or maybe not at all. All the way to the bottom we already see some first relic with the oracles meeting each other and missing each other. Both Artemis is actually the same that we have seen in the last game, if I remember correctly. Well, of course, on Marsh there are like tons of relics, so usually you get like half of them. With Shingles of Steel for the better house and manor hit points, that's gonna be another one all the way to the top for Veget Eye. For the cheaper myth units, another one is going to be for town center population slots. Yeah, Eye of Horus, that is certainly quite a nice one, especially for the later game when you are having all the TCs that your heart can potentially even desire. Combination of the TC and the gold and the hunt is going to be certainly nice for the player in blue. That's going to be more a guest player for Fate 2 in this season together with Flame. And we are going to be right now watching, of course, a bit of a hunt for him as well. So far, it seems as the water is going to be right now definitely basically dividing him from his opponent, from Seiya. And the water seems to be quite interesting, that he should be having quite an easy game, though the front TCs are fairly funny. You can see this is probably supposed to be the front TC for more. Yeah, it is. This is front TC for more, this is front for Gold Lion, front TC for Thomas Shelby. That's actually rather nice. That is a really good TC for him. In the middle of the choke point, quite close to the base. That's definitely one of the better ones that you could be getting, as this is supposed to be the front TC for Gabo. And in that case, it actually might be, or rather he might be tempted to be thinking of this TC as potentially being his as well. Kind of looking at it slightly, of course, closer to green. It's not that far away from Gabo, so potentially important fight could be having and had for this TC altogether. Is definitely not impossible, as otherwise the front TC for Seiya is quite close by to him. But yet again, well, we have seen that the one for more is certainly not that ideal, and yet again, maybe even this TC is gonna be fought over, but it will be quite hard for more. But yeah, well, he should be kind of the higher rated player in the game, so maybe he's gonna be having some kind of tricks up this sleeve against Seiya. You can see already a bit of scouting is going on by more with the Oracle, quite nicely done, should be at least nicked. So a decent scouted all that freely in there by the villager walking right past him. And this is going to be apparently quite a bit of a aggressive gameplay by Gold Lion. He's going to be heading into the middle, which is going to be also incidentally also protecting this TC on the right flank. And well, he's going to be just making sure that he also gets, oh, Anvil of Hephaestus. Nice one. Cheaper armor researches, that's going to be coming a long way for his team. And the cheaper myth unit training time, or the faster myth unit training time, could be also good for Loki as well. So definitely good relics all around, and would be nice for Gold Lion to be collecting all of those. So far, Marcos is apparently gonna be missing this, unfortunately. He seems to be right about now pretty much fully heading into the bottom against more to help Seiya. Yes, so far this is pretty much secret, so nicely done. And nicely done, and curious how well this is gonna be going all together and overall. As all the way here, yeah, just gonna be checking. Yeah, blue player also kind of combining all the oracles with the purple doing pretty much the same. So we're just gonna be waiting how this is gonna be working for both of these players. So far though, this is definitely gonna be quite a nice play with the double temple build up for the Loki. We have the second Loki all the way to the top. One temple, second apparently not. Seems like it's gonna be a temple with longhouse. So maybe a few throwing axemen are gonna be coming forward, whereas Gold Line is going full on and full in, and all in rather, for all the heresies that he can be potentially humanly making. Now Blue is gonna be right about now trying to protect his base and all the hunters, but he's still having plenty of hunt inside his base, as we have shown at the very start. You can see aurochs, some deer, some extra deer all the way to the bottom. We should be having some cranes somewhere close by as well, like about now on the left side. And the advances were pretty much at the same time for Pennywise, Mora, Seiya and Marcos. So all of them doing quite a good job as right about now. And this important Anvil Hephaestus is gonna be already in. So he's been right about now also scouted by one of the oracles. So he's not gonna be safe anymore, but at least he has been given at least a few minutes of complete another safety altogether in there. As all the way to the bottom, this is going to be quite an aggressive build-up by Seiya. Really aggressive. You can see usually players build it inside the base in here. This is going to be potentially a bit of a threat to him if Goldline is going to be discovering it soon, exactly as he is. And he could be potentially really make his opponent pay for this, especially if More is going to be helping with the army quite quickly. And you can see he's going for aggressive build-up himself. Of those oracles already dead. They seem to be pretty much right about now destroyed by delete. That seems that actually might have been deleted by More in there for extra population limit right off the bat in here. And the double here is going to be definitely strong. So far Yellow is just going for a bit of a scouting by the little Prometheans with Oracle Scout in the middle. And so far he's sending just the first units from his own home base. And therefore those aggressive builds by More and Gold Lion are probably going to be just a bit more of a problem than maybe even Seiya was expecting in this game. Especially since he does have the borderline build up as well, and therefore he's gonna be quite probably paying for it quite a bit. So the task right about now should be for More to get rid of all the heroes, so that Goldline could be having basically free reign of his mythical units that are gonna be spawned all around. As all the way to the top, there's gonna be a bit of a battle as well. That's gonna quickly switch in there, but the units are not really all that prevalent for Pennywise yet, but he's already having 6 Heresiers, and his opponent is gonna be apparently coming for, well, a combination of military academy and archer ranges, a whole lot more archers, aka Toxotai, and a few hoplites on top of that for the Zeus. Whereas to the bottom, of course, the battle is going to be even incorporating a few carry ballistae for Seiya. I'm thinking it's not such a bad idea, and they could be really helpful in the battles against all the Murmelos. Definitely seems like a pretty decent idea with the shockwaves right now running around, and the second shockwave did nothing from Marcos. Unfortunately, the second literally did absolutely nothing at all at this point, so that was a bit of a waste. As right now Goldline is going to be exactly fine because of the spy, the hunters all the way to the top, and More style is going to be sending at least a few units there as well. As a few more of course are going to be available from purple. It's going to check onto the housing situation. So Red should be getting a few mythical units quite soon. You can see he's still having the one troll in there. I'm not entirely certain if it is the one that he got for free. But right now he definitely has to hope that he gets a few more units, because he didn't. He's gonna be basically forced to flee, so this is turning into a bit of a bad battle for him altogether. Rather unfortunate for him. And see a little bit of radiant right now by Pennywise all the way to the top. Being pursued by only one hoplite, as all the way to the bottom. He's still basically keeping Gabo inside his base. He's just basically scouting with the Catastrophes overall. But it almost seems like that Gabo will be interested in going forward and maybe even preventing this TC from coming into the enemy hands all that easily. All the way to the bottom, this seems like the battle is actually brewing into something quite interesting, as Marcos is so far producing quite enough units, and so is Seiya. So far the battle is not exactly all that easy for More with Gold Lion, as Gold Lion is gonna be right now forced to fall back, at least ever so slightly, but he does have enough units in there. He just needs a bit of healing, and of course he needs a bit more spawns, as he so far hasn't been getting them at all. Yeah, this is definitely time for Yellow to be escaping, as Blue is having quite a solid army already. That's basically going for him altogether. Altogether. So right about now, More is kind of wanting to be taking things a bit more carefully. They probably want to be coordinating with Gold Lion a bit more, as right now Lion is gonna be getting quite a solid army, and if they can be combining all of this together into a proper 2v2, then they should be having quite an advantage, because all the Loki mythical units, they are, well, apparently even More wants to be getting a bit of a heal in there, but we need to be switching all the way to the top, where Gabo is heading into the enemy base. You can see Thomas shall be having a few issues apparently, as he's not even radiant anymore, and therefore that's gonna be quite a bit of a problem for him. If it wasn't for the towers being researched just about now, that's gonna be certainly quite helpful altogether. All the way to the top, apparently Gold Line is gonna be maybe a bit helping Pennywise all the way there, as More is having a bit of fun with Marcos and sending his units flying all across. And so far this is actually working rather well, because Purple is not joining the battle. This is basically going to be 1v1, and after it's gonna be another 1v1 against Purple, which is absolutely ideal for More, but he needs to be a bit more careful, as apparently the battle is not going as well for him as he hoped a bit earlier. Okay, but this is gonna be of course heading into Gabo, pretty much losing all the army, I'm guessing. Oh well, Goldline gonna send a few units all around the TC in there for a bit better micro, but still he's gonna be able to make up for it quite nicely by the building blocking, as apparently Pennywise should be doing something of the same ilk about here, but it seems he didn't have exactly enough wood. He did! So you can basically block him absolutely the same way. But yeah, well, he decided not to, or maybe just didn't have the thought of that at the same moment, but this is still gonna be resulting into quite an easy switch in the momentum in here, and Pennywise should be having a bit of a respite from the attack from Teal and will be heading back into the attack fairly quickly. But right now what definitely needs to be happening is Goldline heading back home and into the middle base, as More is right now in a hard situation because he's having to fight against two players at once, and it's not exactly something that he can be doing. Second TCB taken by Goldline, and it seems that he is the only player so far in the game. No, he isn't. Even the Atlanteans, Marcos and Seiya, and More, basically all of them are taking the second TC right about now. The safe one behind the base, completely and utterly. As right now, unfortunately, Goldline is gonna be using a few military buildings apparently, as he just doesn't have the army in the correct placement. Right now he's gonna be finally arriving home, but yeah, this is a lot of army. This needs to be coordinated with More. Oh well, somebody forgot to shift click with the hunters on the left. This is a bad battle for Goldline, to be honest. He shouldn't be engaging in this. Maybe he actually asked More to be engaging as well. Right now, even Gabo is gonna be joining. Okay, now this is a problem for F2, because Goldline is gonna be losing tons of units. He didn't really get any kind of spawns all that much. Did he actually get any at all? No, he wasn't house. I don't think so. But he really wasn't getting any kind of spawns there all that much, unless they were really slaughtered all that quick. You can see the Valkyrie. So maybe he did get the Valkyrie into the middle somewhere in there. As right now More is finally joining, but this is heading into quite a solid disaster and miscommunication, unfortunately for F2, as they weren't able to communicate well, Goldline with More in that. That definitely seemed like that's what they wanted to do. Both of them basically attacking from both sides, but it completely backfired, and it turned basically into 2 versus 1 for WKT, and well, they basically did it both against Goldline and later against More, as the forward base is pretty much destroyed for Goldline. He needs to be right now rebuilding all of it, and it's gonna be costing him plenty. And maybe there's gonna be a bit of an opportunity for Thomas Shelby to be heading yet again into the assault, because of course the Teal army is all the way to the bottom, and therefore he should be having basically free field of attack right about now in the base, and should be able to deal with all of it quite quickly and fairly easily. In the meantime, there's gonna be front TC taken by Seiya, which is right now scouted by the spy quite promptly, as the heroic age is already in, and the other ones are not gonna be coming yet, as More style is right now having copper shields and medium infantry for Marcos is coming in. Is already coming in, and well, we're gonna be right now watching what More is gonna be doing exactly into the bottom, as he definitely still does have a bit of a struggle against the opponents. But who isn't struggling is definitely right now Pennywise, but he's gonna be, because the whole army from Gabo is already back, and he won't be able to finish with this unless he commits into the flame weapons. But this seems to me that he might be getting another drop, which is definitely bad if it's the truth. Hopefully not, hopefully not. Hopefully not. Right now they are continuing all together. As right about now, even Restoration is coming forward against the flame weapons, but yeah, flame weapons are pretty much a counter god power to Restoration, and therefore this is not looking all that bad for Pennywise, and he might be actually able to beat his opponent just straight in there. Yeah, so far he's definitely doing quite a nice job. You can see without heroes, the piggy is gonna be completely deadly in all the mythical units, so it's looking very good for Thomas Shelby. Whereas in the middle, the battle is brewing, as Goldline has been able to amass army yet again, and right now, finally, you're gonna be seeing what Goldline and More wanted to do a bit earlier, the 2 versus 2, and you can see that this is resulting into Marcos and his teammate Seiya having to flee from the battlefield altogether. Seiya though is at the 3 TCs already, so he might not really be having all that much of a problem. You can see Marcos heading for the 3rd TC as well. 3rd TC coming for Pennywise, and Pennywise is gonna be right about now completely destroying Gabo, and he will have to retrieve with villages unless he wants to be completely and utterly destroyed, because right about now his game is gonna be upended right here. Right here, and indeed. And well, of course, since you don't have the ceasefire for defeating the possibility of the flame weapons there, in the team games is quite important. It's probably gonna be, well, not going in anywhere nice for Gabo at this point. Okay, so a bit of armor right about now gonna be destroyed for more, because those Murmilos are definitely not gonna be enough. He's gonna be at least getting the front DC, some small yellow army waiting. Which definitely should be engaging, and more should be a bit more careful about the numbers, because Seiya is right about now playing rather well. Oh well, this raiding is not done. Those villages are gonna be yet again right about now punished for all of this. Yeah, well, more didn't exactly deal with that. For Murmilos weren't exactly the army to deal with this. Those two are not gonna be enough either. So I'm not entirely certain right now what more is actually doing. He's not sending something more. Well, of course, he needs a bit more units all the way into the middle. But still, he could be probably telling his teammate in there that the gold is therefore not safe. And right about now, at least the heroic ages are coming. And it's looking quite promising right now, as Gabo is already gonna be resigning, as he has been completely destroyed. With Pennywise getting the second TC, gonna be getting the third, and even a fourth one in the middle of the enemy base. And he's gonna be completely and utterly destroying him, as he's down to only Marcos and Seiya, who are so far doing really well against Goldline and more. But without the third player in a row and in the team, it's gonna be pretty much impossible for them to win, and we're gonna be seeing a bit more battle here, I'm guessing, until Goldline and more are gonna be having a bit more, or maybe even not, as the GG is already gonna be called by Seiya as well. It seems like they're already pushing against them also. Quite nice base building, by the way, this. KT is gonna be allowing exactly Kero Ballista to be hard to get at, as the GG is coming. Gonna be a few raiding units still, with Goldline finally taking a few units to be dealing with that. Same as more, realizing that 4 and 2 are not gonna be dealing with that. So yeah, well, that's a few flame weapons still for the red player, who is gonna be right now destroying the bottom side of the map and claiming the second victory in today's match, and they're gonna be winning the match against WKTB 2-0. So GG. Let's check into the post game. It's gonna be Pennywise with the highest score in there, and the economy is probably gonna be coming for more. So yeah, well, he kinda does quite well at that, but those two Atlanteans and Marcos from the other team, they definitely weren't that bad. They definitely weren't. They made the game for Goldline and more quite difficult, and if that was a 2v2, that actually could have been fairly interesting. But anyway, it wasn't. It's a 3v3 in RTS League, and therefore there is the victory for Fate 2 and claiming the first win in the season. Yeah, well, at the end, Gabo, of course, after flame weapons, that was a complete and utter destruction. It was well timed by Pennywise. And yeah, well, the restoration is not gonna be helping against that, because as I said, faster heroic into flame weapons is counterplay to Athena Rush and into the restoration, so that wasn't going to be working there, unfortunately, for the teal player. And you can see he was having quite nice army, even more than green. But the flame weapons, that is basically insta army above that, and it's making tons of difference, especially with Loki, who's suddenly gonna be sprouting so many mythical units out of it that it's not even funny. And that's gonna be, of course, completely destroying, especially Greeks are gonna be having problems dealing with that if they are not ready with their own mythical units. Well, GG.